Okay everyone, so now we are creating a Windows application and where we are going to find the area of circle. So first of all we are going to the file menu and we are creating a new project. So here the new project will be started. We know that we are using the VB.NET here. That's why we will click on the VB and we have the custom installation of this Visual Studio. That's why only VB option is coming. But let's say if you are going for the full installation, then it will show you the multiple languages also, like C sharp, J sharp, F sharp. So you can click them also if required. But here we are working on the VB.NET. So VB will be selected, then afterward Windows. So inside the Windows there are multiple things. You can make the console application. Console application means if you want working on the C programming language, you know that there was everything onto the commands. There was no graphic programming. Similarly, console application is for the normal programming for the CUI, that is for the character user interface or the command line interface. Now we are going for the Windows form. So this is the GUI programming we are selecting. We are giving some name here. So the name of project we are giving, let's say we are giving area circle. So this is the area of circle we want to calculate and we are going with the OK. So this is how we are creating a new project and the project name we are giving is the circle area. So now it will take some time to load with the project because you can see that it is creating the project. Now here we are having the solution explorer on the right hand side. You can see that here area circle. So the name of project is coming here and right now one form is loaded. This is the form 1. What we want that we should be displaying a text to the user to enter the radius. So first of all, from the toolbox we are going to find a label. So label is like a text, so we are putting it here on the form. Now we are going to click this and go to the properties section. In the properties section we know that there are two things. One is the name by which we are going to code, just like using the label 1, and there is other thing which is the text. So using this text we can display the user. Let's say I am putting here enter radius. So this will be changed. If I click over there, it is changed. You can see that enter radius. Now it is like a message to the user, please enter the radius. Now what we want is the text box. So we are scrolling down and we are dragging and dropping the text box. So if I just play this program, you can see that it will be running. It will take certain time. Now this type of window will come, that means enter radius. It is a message and user can enter some of the radius, like let's say 12. So this is how we have created right now. Now the objective of this program is to find out the area of circle. So we have already taken the radius here. Now afterward we are going to take a button. Why the button? Because we want that whenever we click on the button, then the area will be calculated. So here we can say that the button text we are changing is calculate. So now if you click back, you can see that the button name is calculate. After calculating the area, where it will be displayed, we want that area should be displayed into the label. So I am taking one more label here. Let's say I am taking this label which is label 2. So I want that here the area should be displayed. So now if I run this program, then I will click on this play button, or I can go to the start debugging. Now here you can see that I will enter the radius. Let's say I enter the 12. Now clicking on the button, I want that on the label 2, the area should be displayed. But here if I am clicking, nothing is happening because I have not done the coding. Now here we should be intelligent that where to do the coding, because there will be multiple places where we can do the coding. But right now it is the button, because I want that if I click this button, then here the answer should come. So I'm closing this and going back to the form, and on this button I want the coding, so I double click this button. Now when I double click this button, a certain code will come to me. So this is the code which is already generated. Now we should understand this code first of all. There are two things which are important. One is the public and one is the private. Public means it can be accessed outside. Private means it can be only accessed inside. Now, whenever I clicked on this button, so you can see that this is like a function. We know that while we was learning the C programming, at that time what we have done, let's say we was making a function, right, void sum, let's say, and in that function what we have done, we start a bracket and we close the bracket, and everything which is written was inside the bracket. So that was the thing we was working into the C programming. But here this bracket concept is not available. No, perfectly no. So these brackets we cannot provide. Means either you provide for loop, if else, case, or maybe any function. The brackets concept is not there. So how to recognize where we are? We can see that. Number one, if we are having a class, then here is the end class. That means from this to that we are having the complete range. You can see that there is a minus button. If I click, that means this is a complete thing. Plus means coming back. So from class it is having end class. Sub, in the .NET we make the function with the name sub. So sub, just like we are having the void, here we are having the sub. So sub is the function. To end the function we are having end sub. So you can see that if I just click the minus, you can see that only function area is minimized. So that means this is one area, this is another area. Now how to close other things? Let's say if you are using the for, again we are having the end for here. You are having the while, there is the end while. So this way we are having all the things available in the .NET. So class, end class, sub, end sub. So first thing we should know that there is no bracket concept. There is ending with the end word. So end the name which we have started. Number one. Second thing we have discussed that public and private. Now, whenever I run this project, you can see that whenever I am running it, here it is the form and I am expecting the input from the user. That means this form will be interacted from the user, means the value should be coming from outside. So this form we are making as the public so that it can be accessed outside, but this button is the part of form. You cannot take the button out of the form. That's why this button code is the private. So here if I am double clicking there, this button code is the private. So sub stands for the function, end sub means ending of the function, private means this button can only be accessed inside where it is, and where inside form 1. So inside the form 1 we can access the button. So the name of function is the button 1 underscore click. We can put any of the name that we want, obviously, but here not here, because here the .NET is doing everything. We are not coding. So to understand this, you see sub means function. It is the name of function, and afterward private means accessing only inside. Now we are moving forward. As we pass some arguments, here also we are passing the two arguments. Number one, this, and number two. So these are the two arguments which are automatically passed by the .NET. So this function is having two arguments. One is the sender and one is the E. Just like we are having by value method and the by reference method. In C programming we know that there are two methods. One is the value method and second one is the reference method. Whenever we are passing the address, then it is called the reference method, or whenever we are only copying the value, it is called the value method. And for that we use what? Star and the and in the C programming, but here we don't have the star and and. We are having by val and by ref. If you are going to pass anything with the reference method, simply write by ref. And you want to pass by value, write by val. So by value, we are putting a sender, and sender is the object of what? System.object. And by value, we are passing e, which is the object of system.event argument. So now afterward, there is one more thing, which is handle. Handle button1 underscore click. So button1 dot click means whenever we click the button, it handle it. Handles actually handle the event, just like we are having multiple events. Like if I am moving the mouse here, you can see that if I am moving the mouse, the sensor of the mouse catch that mouse is moving, and then this cursor moves. If I write something, let's say if I am writing H, then key press is the event. So mouse move, key press, there are multiple events which are handled by the system. So this is how this function is working. And this function is the part of class. Understand this, every form is having the class. Let's say if I am having 3 forms, so 3 classes will be made. So this is form 1. So form 1 is a class which is of public type. So now we are having the basic idea about the existing coding. This is the existing coding available. Till now we have not done any of the thing yet. So simply because this form will be displayed to the user, that's why this form is public, and button is inside, that's why button is private. And because I want that once I click the button, then coding should run, that's why I am double clicking on this button and this coding open. So every form is having the class, and form is of public type, class end with the end class. Inside that we are having the button is a function with the name sub, and which is of private because button is the part of form, and it is end by the end sub. And this is having 2 arguments, this one and this one. So these 2 arguments are present, and it handles button1 dot click, means clicking on the button, this function will be performed. So till now we have learned what is the existing code. Now we are going to write the code here. So now we are going to write the code to calculate the area. First of all, we are going on the form because everything will be based upon the form. Now number 1, if I run this form, then we know that whenever I write 12 here, then from the text box, this 12 should be going in the code, and when I click the button, then it should be coming to the label 2. So that means I should be knowing the names of these controls. We know that action will be triggered when we double click the button or click the button. Simply double click is for the coding. So here this text box, we want the operation. What is the name of text box? It is text box 1. So we should note this name, that text box 1 is our input. And when we click the button, then coding will perform. So double click over there. This is the area we have to code. Now, whenever we are taking any input from the text box, it should be taken into some variable. And we are going to calculate the area, and obviously area will be coming into the decimal values. That means floating point values, and for the floating point values we know that we use double. So clicking on the button, here we are declaring the variable as double type. So what is the syntax? First of all, we are saying dim stands for dimension or declaration. So here we are saying declare, then R for the radius as double. So this is way by which we can declare a variable here into the .NET. You can see that dim means declare, R as double. So similarly, if you want to integer, dim a as integer. If you want to float, dim a as float, dim a as double, dim a as character, dim a as string. So any type of variable you can declare, but format will be the same. Dim for the declaration, variable name, then as double. So first of all, we have declared one variable here, which is the R. Now .NET is very intelligent. You can see that .NET find unused variable r. You have declared, it is saying you have not used it. So if you are not using it, please remove. It is giving us the warning. But we are coming down now. We want that in this variable, we should take the input from text box 1. So this is the text box 1. From there, I take the input. So how I will take? We will write r. R means radius. This r variable will be taking equal to. Now text box. You can see that again .NET is very intelligent. You have written the text. Here it is showing you text box 1. That means whatever the text boxes or the controls you have dragged and dropped, their information .NET is already having. So you can simply scroll down and click over there. Now when you scroll down, afterward you put the tab button. Once you put the tab button, automatically that name will be coming here. Now from the text box, what you want? You press the dot. Here you can see that there are multiple options. You want the size of text box, you want the tab stop, you want the text align length. No, I want the text. Means whatever the user is entering the text inside the text box 1, I want that text. That's why we are saying text box 1 dot text. Now put the tab space. So simply it is coming here. R is equal to text box 1 dot text. Means in text box 1, whatever the text user is writing, that will be coming to the variable R. But here is one thing that need to be changed. Here we are writing text. Text means some kind of character. And in the double we are going to enter the values. So this text should be converted to the value. That's why we are writing a val function here. Val function means converting the text to the value. Now understand this. If you are not writing this value function, even the program will run successfully because you have taken R as double type. And .NET is very intelligent that automatically it will convert, but logically program will be incorrect. Because you see, you are taking the text from the text box 1 and you are storing to the R. .NET is automatically typecasting it to double. No, it should not auto typecast. You should convert to the value. So the correct syntax says that you should be converting to the value, then storing to the variable R. So this time what we have done till yet, from the text box, this is the text box 1, whatever the user will enter, that text will be taken, converted to value and stored to the variable R. So this step is over here. So in this step we have taken a variable, and in this variable we have taken the input from the text box 1. So from the text box 1 we have stored whatever the user will write to the variable on the click of the button. Now we are going on the step 2 where we want that area should be displayed on this label. Means this label should change. So we are going back, and obviously we want the click on the button, everything should happen. So afterward we are continuing. First of all we are going to find the area. Means for the area we want one more variable. So I will say A here. So R comma A, that means one variable A is declared. Again we are having the warning unused variable A. Obviously we are going to use it. So we are writing A is equal to, that means area is equal to, we know that the area of circle is pi r square. So we are writing A is equal to, what is pi? Pi means the value is 3.14. Then 3.14 into r square, that means r into r. So pi r square, 3.14 into r. So that's what we have done. That means this is the calculation part we have performed. Now the result of this area we should be showing into the label here. You see this is the label 2. Note down the name label 2 because label 1 is the enter radius. If you are writing label 1, this name will be changed. but we don't want to change this. We want to change this label to. So note down label to. So here what we are writing label. Now two options are there, 1 and 2, which we should select. We know that one is for displaying to the user, which we have already reserved. 2 we have taken for the output. So label 2, put the tab, automatically it will take all whatever it is required. Dot label to what? You want the back color, you want to auto size, focus, what you want? We want that text. So we are writing the text here simply. Again put the tab. So label to dot text means in the label we are going to change the text, and that is equal to A. So this is what we have done. Again put the tab space. Now this the code is over here. So this is the code what we have done. Now we are going to run this program. So by going on debug, start debugging, or by simply clicking on this play button, we can start running the project. So now the project is running. You can see that. Here we are having a message, enter radius. Let's say we are entering the radius, let's say 10. Now we are clicking on the calculate button. Understand this. When I click this button, this event got triggered, means this function is called. Function declared two variables r and a of double type. Then afterward, taking the value into r, so in the radius value is taken, 10 is taken. Then it calculates the area pi r square, 3.14 into r. Then label to this label text got changed to a. And what was the a? That was. So if I run this program one more time with some different value, then I will click on the play. You can see that it is labeled to, and if I simply enter some value, let's say 50 or some value, then click. So here also we get the area. So this is how we can show the answer into the label also. So this was the program to find the area of circle and showing the result into the label.